Paris, the city of lights. It feels eternal, doesn't it? Like a diamond that has always existed here. Polished, perfect, and magnificent. But this image is a lie. Paris is a survivor. A city built on a graveyard of forgotten tribes, burned bridges, and accumulated mud. If you stood here 2,300 years ago, you wouldn't see romance. You will see a hostile swamp. A flooding archipelago where the river Seine curled like a snake around small, muddy islands. Why build here? Why choose this flood-prone marsh to build the capital of the world? That is the first mystery. To understand Paris, we have to destroy it. We have to peel back the pavement, layer by bloody layer, to find the ghosts who refused to leave. Welcome to Epic Echoes. Today, we don't just visit Paris, we excavate it. It begins around 250 BC. A Celtic tribe known as the Parisii arrives on these islands. Historians debate their origins. Some say the Danube, but they chose this mud for a reason. Strategy. In a world of wolves, a moat is your best defense. The river was a natural fortress. They named their settlement Lutetia. The name likely comes from the Celtic word for marshland. The City of Lights began as the City of Mud, but don't mistake them for savages. The Parisii were rich, incredibly rich. They minted these gold coins, the staters. These weren't crude lumps of metal. They were surrealist masterpieces of abstract art. They were river barons. Every boat passing this island pays a toll. They mud turned into gold. But gold attracts wolves. By the 1st century BC, the Roman Republic was hungry. Julius Caesar looked north and saw Gaul not as a neighbor, but as property. In 52 BC, the end came. The Roman general Labienus marched on the city. The Parisii made a desperate choice. Rather than let Rome take their fortress, they burned it to the ground. When the smoke cleared, the Celtic Paris was gone. The independence of the Parisii died in the ashes, but the location was too perfect to abandon. Rome didn't rebuild, they overwrote. They looked to the hill on the left bank and drafted a new city. Enter Lutetia Parisiorum. For 300 years, a Roman resort. If you visit the Latin Quarter today, you are walking on their grid. The main Roman road is exactly where the Rue Saint-Jacques is today. You walk on ghosts. They built massive public baths which still exist, underfloor heating in a former swamp. This was the peak of civilization, but the Romans didn't erase the local culture entirely. They merged with it. Look at the Pillar of the Boatman, found under Notre Dame. It shows Jupiter standing next to Cernunnos, the Celtic horned god, a hybrid city. But the Roman peace cracked. Christianity arrived with the city's first great legend, Saint Denis. Legend says after being headed on Montmartre, he picked up his head and walked away preaching. True? Unlikely. But it tells us the Roman authority was dying. Chaos was coming. By the late 3rd century, barbarians were at the gates. The open city was indefensible. The city retreated. They tore down temples to build walls around the island. Then, in 451 AD, the ultimate terror approached, Attila the Hun. A woman named Genevieve prophesied safety. Miraculously, Attila turned south, sparing the city. The power vacuum was filled by the Franks. Their king, Clovis, made a historic choice. In 508 AD, he made Paris the capital of the kingdom, the head of a new nation. Merovingian Paris was gritty, a city of wooden churches and narrow alleys. But it was about to face its greatest test. The Northmen were coming. At AD, Ragnar Lothbrok sailed up the Seine with 120 ships and 5,000 warriors. The king made a mistake. He split his army. The Vikings attacked and plundered easily. To make them leave, the king paid 7,000 pounds of silver, the first Dongeld. But they came back. In 885 AD, a massive armada, 30,000 Vikings against 200 defenders. This time, Paris didn't pay. They fought. For a year, they held the island. They poured boiling oil and wax. They rebuilt the walls at night. They refused to break. This siege forged a new identity. Paris was no longer just a capital, it was a warrior. Jump to the 12th century. Paris is growing uncontrollable. It needed a master builder. Enter King Philip Augustus. He paved the muddy streets for the first time since Rome. He built a massive wall that encircled the entire city to protect it forever. And to guard the west, he built a grim fortress called the Louvre. Not a palace, but a weapon. While the king built walls, the people built mines. The left bank became the Latin Quarter, named because students speak Latin in the streets, debating theology and philosophy. And in the center, Bishop Maurice de Sully imagines something impossible. A ship of stone to float above the city, the Cathedral of Notre Dame. By 1300, Paris was the largest city in Christendom, 200,000 souls. But the Golden Age ended in 1348. The Black Death arrived. In months, nearly half the population died. The city fell silent. But Paris always rises. The Renaissance brought new kings and new light. King Henri IV built the Pont Neuf, the first bridge with no houses, open to the view. Louis XIV moved to Versailles, but he gave Paris streetlights. The City of Light was born. Yet the biggest change was yet to come, the 1800s. Baron Haussmann tore the gut out of the city. He replaced the medieval maze with the grand boulevards we see today. And in 1889, a tower of iron shocked the world. Hated at first, now the icon. From a muddy outpost of the Parisii to the capital of the Franks, from the ashes of Viking fires to the flames of Gothic cathedrals. Every time you walk through Paris, you walk on the roof of a buried world. The mud is still there. The Roman baths are still there. The echoes are deafening. This was just the beginning. The world is full of buried cities waiting to speak. Next week, we travel to the sands of the Middle East to uncover the first true metropolis. This is Epic Echoes. Let's reconstruct the past together.